Hey, welcome to Backstage virtually at Boom Chicago. My name is Pep Rosenfeld.
Hey, it's me, Greg Shapiro.
And we are psyched that you have joined us for this episode 2 of Trump Up the Volume, the social distancing edition.
Yeah.
Part 1 was Tuesday. Now, if you missed part 1, if you missed episode 1, the good news is that this is YouTube and, everything is available forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. I put my link online on all my socials. So social distancing edition on the social media. How about that?
Yeah, but if you did miss it, just so you feel caught up for tonight, it turns out that what we learned last episode is me and Greg are not such big fans of Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's basically what you missed.
Turns out. Look, just like the other night, what we want to do is take this first 10 minutes before we go on stage and kind of show you around a little backstage, a little on stage, so you can see how this all works. You can see that we're adhering to the safety rules.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing better at a comedy show than safety.
Hilarious.
Indeed.
Wait, just so you know, if you want to be chatting, you can do that. I am going to check what people are saying on the old Boom Chicago feed right now. And also, you can go to boomchicago.nl and buy a ticket. It's not too late to do that. Am I saying that here?
It's definitely.
I'll say it more than once.
You can start right now. Let me say this though: if you don't have to buy a ticket proper, right on this YouTube, screen, you can go down a little bit under the image, and in there's a donate button. So you don't have to formally buy a ticket. You can, but you can also donate. Kind of whatever you want.
Yeah. Pep's going to go there. Oh yeah. So people were asking last time, what's up with the costumes? Since we're here at Boom Chicago, there are 25 years worth of costumes here, and we thought we would just walk you through some of the costumes that explain how we got to this point with the coronavirus.
And first of all, I realized that I left stage, so you must think I left camera. You think I'm going to put this on, but I didn't put it on. But this is our carnival costume. This marks the point when half of Holland caught the coronavirus. It was carnival.
Next up came Easter, which we thought. The economy might be open. I thought the economy would totally be open, but no, it's not.
These orange costumes are for Koningsdag, for King's Day, and this will mark the first year that we celebrate King's Day inside, even if the weather is good.
Hopefully we'll be open again. The theater will be ready to go by the time Sinterklaas rolls around. Hey, it's me, Sint. Unless they make Sinterklaas illegal this year, too.
For the record, I think, because Sinterklaas comes on the steamboat, I think as long as Sinterklaas doesn't come from Italy or Wuhan, I think we can totally do Sinterklaas this year.
I love Sinterklaas with the kids. Sorry about that. No, that's my channel. But that's how I can get to the Boom channel. Anyway, yeah, my kids are singing like, Sinterklaas is aangekomen met de stoomboot uit Madrid. Madrid, the classic port city of Spain. So, and you think Americans are bad with geography. That's right, Dutch kids. Once Sinterklaas and his army of helpers drag their steamboat across the Spanish countryside from Madrid to the coast, then they steam all the way to the Netherlands. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So maybe actually, with that in mind, we should cancel it this year too, just to be better safe than sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. There we are.
Look, we can. So Greg was talking about buying tickets. Now I did want to say
Milwaukee in the house.
Milwaukee is in the house. See, the chat is live, so you can chat with us now, and you can chat with us after the show right back here. And there'll be a chunk in the show, two moments when we ask you to hit the chat and send us suggestions. Besides that, we invite you to put it on full screen, lean back, and really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But I want to say hello to some folks that bought some tickets. Now 2 days ago, we did sort of the walk of shame for the obstructed view €5 tickets. There's no shame. Anybody who buys a ticket, you are delighted. We are delighted. You are more than welcome. Frederik Zabel, Sandra Rinkhuizen, Janine Mulder. It seems like the Dutch folks still dominating the cheap tickets.
Oh, wait a minute. I got an Alexandra Joppe here. Sounds pretty Dutch. She bought a ticket again for the Tuesday and the Thursday show.
There you go.
Well done.
Thank you very much to defeat the stereotypes. Willem de Groot, however, not helping with his cheap ticket. Hey, here's Jamie Rhiannon Verrebach. I think that's the first non-Dutch person buying the cheap ticket. Meanwhile, some Dutch folks did pay more. We had Trine Hoekstra, Lothar Kuiper, and of course, Candice Hembro. And this person bought the I buy red Nespresso capsules for my real Nespresso machine tickets. Thank you for that, and thank you for referencing episode 1.
Yeah, and if you're not aware, then you can still buy the tickets. Yeah, what is it? €5 is the obstructed view. You're responsible for obstructing part of your screen, and you can go all the way up to €250 for the scalpers price. Scalpers, those bastards, for €250. Yeah.
I do want to say there's plenty of tiers in the middle, including Monica Lebeck bought the complete show ticket. So thank you very much for that. Enjoy the whole show. Why not buy the complete ticket for Going Steady next week too? Let me say this: if you've bought your ticket, this might be a time before the show you get yourself a drink, and then maybe tell your friends and family to watch the show too, because then you can sort of have them on the phone while you watch. It's kind of a socially distant social occasion.
That is true.
Yeah, you can let them know with a WhatsApp. You can let them know with Twitter, Instagram. If you're my age or older, Facebook. Like however you do.
Yeah.
We advise you to do that.
We got Milwaukee in the house. We got Madison, Wisconsin in the house. We've got Chicago. We've got the U.S. We've got all over, man. And I was very enthused last time to hear about someone who said, "Oh man, I shared the link, and all of a sudden I was watching this show like unplanned. Oh, we'll watch the same Netflix movie at the same time." She said like, "Oh yeah, no, we were watching the same thing with a friend that she never sees in her own city, a friend that she never sees in a different city, and her family back in a different country." So
see that? Let's put the social back in social distancing.
Share the love.
Hey, I'm going to go on stage in a second and show you how we're keeping it safe there too. But I do want to tell you, back here we're sticking to all the rules. All these surfaces were cleaned and disinfected, and I believe just because we're used to it, while they were being disinfected, we sang Happy Birthday twice. I like to pick a favorite celebrity birthday and sing about them. Today it was Martin Lawrence and John Cryer, Ducky from Pretty in Pink. Before I go on stage though, if you're a business person with a fancy job and thinking our virtual, watered down events suck, we got some streaming partners. Check it out. We know how to throw an event, and we would love to help you digitally. There, that was my subtle corporate plug. I hope you didn't notice. All right, I'm going to go on stage now. I do want to let you know that even when we were working and rehearsing and writing, we maintained social distance rules, and we would do as much as we could on Zoom. Andrew wore the most European shirt he possibly could when we did, and that was fantastic. So here on stage, just like Tuesday, this is my side, this is that side. We've got the yellow measuring tape on the ground to really let everybody know just where the 1.5 meters did. Like I said, I'm a bit of a spitter. I spit a lot. So, sometimes it's funny, because like if I'm, behind you and then I sneeze, if I sneeze, everybody spits. But if I'm talking, it's like, oh, it's a cool 3D adventure. But here it could be deadly. So everybody's far away. Manning the tech up in his booth is Tom. Tom could not be farther away from anyone. And if you've ever seen him eat, you would understand why that's the case. The We Are Live.
I was using the other mic as for emergency.
You were okay. There you go. A little behind-the-scenes message for you. The We Are Live Dream Stream team. They are in the front bar. If we can get a shot of the streaming team. Look at these guys, separated by plexiglass. So if one of them explodes in a fiery ball of droplets, they will not be contaminated. It's fantastic. Behind those guys is the clothing station, where when we get to the theater, we take off our street clothes and shoes, we leave them there, and we put on our inside clothes, and it feels like one of those science fiction movies where you have to take off your clothes and burn them because there's a virus. But it's not a movie, it's real life. And then, of course, we've got an audience. It's a very small, somewhat sad-looking audience. But all of these people need to be here. We appreciate the laughs they give, but these folks have to be there. Starting with Andrew Moskos there. He's the director of the show. Hey, Andrew, how you doing?
Hey. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice you. I was tweeting to my friends about the show being about to start so that they could come join me online.
You were tweeting?
Yeah.
I got a feeling you were on Facebook, my friend. Over there is Saskia Maas. Saskia is the CEO of the company, and she's a strong, silent type. There is Finn. He is running the venue and sort of making sure that he's the wiper downer. Did you sing Happy Birthday while you wipe stuff down? I did. Don't talk. There's no microphone for you. And then, oh my gosh, they're on the couch. It's Going Steady. Stacy and Matt. Hey guys.
This is my fiance, Matt Castel.
And this is my fiance, Stacy Smith.
And we are going steady. And we have our shows next week, the same exact time and same place, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
And unlike this, our shows are going to be completely improvised because, as we know, Boom Chicago is the home of improvisation. Yeah.
So our show is going to be completely different because it's going to be completely improvised. It's going to be a lot younger, and it's going to involve 50% more women.
So tune in next week, where you're going to see a lot less Trump and a lot more love.
Nothing more improvised than that planned statement. Also, I hate to be a nitpicker here, but there's going to be an infinite percent more women because we've got 0, and of course, any more
Math
women is
nerds.
Yeah, I was on the math team, and that's why I don't perform with women or do much with them at all. I'm going to go backstage now and see how Greg's doing. Greg?
Hey, Pep. All right. Did you point out the 1.5 meters?
I did.
You did?
I did. I
Okay.
showed him the tape. And
Okay,
everything.
got it. No, I know we were catching some hell for that last time. But anyway, yeah, we've got so many countries. Massachusetts is representing, Maine, Wisconsin, New York City, Chicago, Illinois. We got California.
Now,
in the
hey,
house.
President Trump, those aren't countries; those are states.
Austin, yeah. Oh, sorry, and the Netherlands, all over the Netherlands, and of course the Barsjes, right? So it is now 2012.
It's 2012. So what does that mean? That means we got to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Buy a ticket.
Buy a
Please.
ticket.
BoomChicago.nl. You can still buy a ticket. And if you want to go down below here on the YouTube link, then you'll see in the info there's a button for donate as well. So yeah, support the cause. We are relying on that stuff. We're sharing. It's not a. Yeah, we're relying on that
The
stuff.
fact
for all
is, the
people here.
theater's closed and nobody's working.
Yeah.
All right. On that somewhat somber note, let's get ready for some comedy. Very little of it improvised. Greg, let's take the stage.
Take the stage.
Live from Boom Chicago in Amsterdam. With a closed bar, we present a comedy show with 2 actors and a small crew in an empty theater. A show that totally follows Dutch government rules and 1.5 meter social distancing. This is Trump Up the Volume. Please welcome Pep Rosenfeld and Greg Shapiro.
Thank you, guys. They have to be here. They have to be here.
Mission critical.
My name is Pep.
I'm Greg.
And
Hi.
thank you so much for joining us for episode 2, Trump Up the Volume, Revenge of the Democrats. How's everybody doing?
All right. Well, again, we're going to show you one show with 2 guys on stage talking all night about one big topic, Donald J. Trump. And since it's my name on all of those relief checks, the J stands for generous. Thank you so much. Last show, we were talking about everybody being comfortable. We're doing the show Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and so on Tuesday, we were talking about, people working from home, even in the U.S. right now, where it's working hours. I hope you're not wearing pants. That answers so much about the recent history.
Oh my gosh,
no
it answers
pants
so
rule.
many questions, Greg.
Yeah.
For example, I don't know if you remember, but like a couple of months ago, there was a thing where there was this BBC reporter, and he's on location in South Korea, and his kid, cute little kid, comes in. His wife was chasing him crazy, and the dude didn't help at all. And there was all this like online, oh my God, why didn't he help? What a terrible father, what a terrible husband. Now it's clear. Dude's working at home, no pants. He couldn't stand up, he couldn't do anything. I bet he had no drawers on.
And I mean, now that so many people are working from home and there are no trousers involved, it's a game changer. It is a whole new fashion regime. In fact, I took this photo, which I call the new business casual. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I'm a non-underwear model.
We also talked a lot about hand washing. Backstage, talked about hand washing. And I feel like with hand washing so much in discussion, it's about time that we ask Dutch people, hey, Dutch people, what's up with the not washing your hands after you use the toilet?
All right, I mean, it was just a couple years ago that this big survey came out. There was a map of all of Europe. We asked respondents across all of Europe the same question: do you wash your hands after using the toilet? And if you look all across of Europe, I mean, you would expect some to be pretty low. And yet, way up here in Northern Europe, the country that is by far the lowest of all of Europe with 50% is the Netherlands. 50% of people saying, yes, we wash our hands, the least hygienic. How can that be? 50% of people. 50% of Dutch people watching right now might be like, nee, het is natuurlijk. Het is goed voor natuur. Het is de goede bacteria. And fine.
You know what that means? That means that what all of us are like on lockdown and home quarantine, a lot of Dutch people are thinking, oh no, I can't wait for the coronavirus to finally be gone, because finally I can get back to my terrible personal hygiene after I defecate. And just to be fair, we should all, be a little easy on the Dutch. Watch out for the judgment, because there are perfectly good reasons for why some Dutch people don't wash their hands after using the toilet. For example, size matters. Size matters. I mean, look at this Dutch toilet. This is a typical Dutch toilet, putting the closet in water closet very clearly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so many of these places, they're so small. The houses are small. The rooms are so... You can't even put a sink in there. What are you supposed to do? Reach into the back of the toilet to wash your hands there? Oh, don't give them any ideas.
And I think this is my favorite model. This is the sort of the under-the-stairs Harry Potter toilet design, where if somehow you can magically get your pee into the toilet, you're a wizard!
Yeah, right. But anyway, just don't forget, as we have heard in the International Clean Hands Challenge, safety starts here. And this campaign introduced by the World Health Organization.
Oh, Greg, don't you mean the world minus funding from the United States Health Organization? Because of course Trump would pull out of the organization during a pandemic, just like he pulled out of the Paris Accords during the climate change. Now I finally understand why he never wore a condom with Stormy Daniels. The man is great at pulling out in the middle of stuff.
And Trump is such an expert. It's so nice to have such a knowledgeable man in the White House. He's like, I'm not a doctor, but I've got a pretty good feeling about pulling out of the World Health Organization all of our funding in the middle of a global pandemic. What could go wrong?
To be honest, though, man, the way he rambles and says stuff, I feel like Trump is like a human version of like the 100 monkeys with 100 typewriters who might suddenly say some Shakespeare. I feel like one of these days we put Trump in front of a microphone, something helpful might actually come out.
Right. You are working hard to create a vaccine. We're working so hard. Although I also hear vaccines that cause autism. I think instead of a vaccine, what we should do is we should take a little bit of the disease and inject that into people, and then the people can develop their own immunity.
Dr. Fauci would be in the back going, wait a minute, did he just accidentally accurately define how a vaccine works? We'll take it. Right.
And so, of course, that's Fauci, and you can facepalm all you want, but he's our best shot right now, because you've got Trump, of course, throwing, everything out for one day, and then he'll reverse himself the next day. So what? Yesterday, we were canceling all of America's funding for the World Health Organization. Today, Trump is probably like, okay, no, we're best friends again. I love the World Health Organization. And there comes the headline right on cue. Yes, we're canceling our threats and we're going back. That's great. I mean, Trump does so much flip-flopping. He just seems to be able to uniquely carry two equal and opposite ideas in his head at all times. Like, we're canceling funding for the World Health Organization. Also, we love the World Health Organization and the job they're doing. So great. And by the way, this whole pandemic, if I had to rate how we're doing, I think it's great. If you want a test, you can get a test. Also, there are no tests. It's not my job to provide testing. That's not the federal government's job, okay? I'm doing such a great job. I give myself a 10 out of 10. Also, I have no responsibility for this whole pandemic at all. It's not my fault. Anyone else's fault, but not mine. And I mean, it's so weird that on the show, The Apprentice, his catchphrase was, "You're fired." It should have been, "You're fired. See you tomorrow. Great job. Great job."
But then when he flip-flops back and forth because, it doesn't matter if he reverses himself every day. There's something new with Trump. Yesterday's doozy is, of course, he has threatened to adjourn the Congress, right? Get rid of the parliament using some arcane little line in the Constitution that no one's ever heard of. And technically, it is in the Constitution. That part is not made up. But I mean, I hear a dude like Trump with authoritarian tendencies talking about, making Congress adjourn, and I kind of go, ooh, where have I heard that before? Oh, I know, Germany in the 30s, Hungary a month ago, and the Galactic Senate a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. But that is Trump. I mean, and we keep falling into the same trap. He lights some crazy thing on fire, and we're like, oh, let's point our cameras at that. I mean, that's just his insatiable need for attention. It's exhausting. After 4 years of this, I wonder if America might be ready for something new. I think for Joe Biden, his winning campaign line should be, I promise you, if and when I am president, you will not hear from me for 2 to 3 days at a time.
The bumper sticker writes itself. It's like, vote Joe Biden. He's not on Twitter. But so finally, the question that we finally get to ask, can the Democrats actually beat this guy? We didn't know who the candidate was, but now, Barack Obama made it official with his, standing behind Joe Biden. There's only one candidate left. It's Joe. We know he's the man. And I got to say, it's about time, because when these primaries began, the Democratic primaries, we had so many candidates. Look at all those candidates. It felt like a Dutch election.
Yeah. And it was exciting. I mean, never before in America have we had this much diversity in our Democratic candidates, any party's candidates. I mean, we had men and women, gay and straight, people of color, and of course, in the end, it ended up being neck and neck, two old white guys. Right. Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Sorry, Joe Biden.
They're very different.
Joe.
Very different, Greg.
Grandpa Joe.
Very different. Yeah. The primaries 2020, sponsored by Viagra. Yeah. But so we got him down to just the one, just the ones. And
yes.
I think we should talk first about the man himself, right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He is the last man standing. A lot of folks
barely.
He's standing, but he's leaning a lot. Joe Biden, see, that was improvised. Joe Biden he came into this the front runner because everybody, knew, he was Obama's vice president. And everybody was saying he's the only one that can beat Donald Trump because I guess, if you want to beat a creepy old white guy accused of sexual harassment, you need a creepy old white guy accused of sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Pep, are you not excited about Joe Biden?
I mean, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. I mean, excited? I feel like I'm a gay person and I'm about to marry a woman. I'll do it, but I won't have a boner. What about you? Are you excited about Joe Biden?
Oh, Pep, we both ended up voting for the same person in the primary. We both voted for a woman, Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, man, I love Elizabeth Warren. I love Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is like if Hillary Clinton had the charm and ability to explain things of Bill Clinton, and if Bill Clinton was it all trustworthy.
Yeah. That's kind of true. And Elizabeth Warren, I mean, she started out so on message. She was out to get these big multinationals, right? She was trying to split up the monopolies. She was going after big pharma, which is kind of odd because she clearly seems to enjoy some pharmaceuticals herself. If you look at her on the campaign trail, on Twitter, her handle is E. Warren, and the E stands for ecstasy. Look at this woman running around. I love everybody. Everybody's now like, okay, the party's over. It's time to go. I'm still peaking. I'm gonna, yay! Let's all take some selfies and maybe some roofies. Yeah, you never know.
So she stayed in for a long time, but she did about a month ago. She finally dropped out. Nevertheless, she stopped persisting.
Oh.
Yeah. But that makes me personally unhappy. But I'll say it anyway. The show must go on. But the last person standing against Joe Biden was, of course, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. He was last in 2016. He's last again. You folks like Bernie Sanders? Make some noise if you like Bernie Sanders. By the way, if you are an American and in a swing state and you cheered a lot for Bernie Sanders, you might be the reason that Trump is the president. But Bernie, I love Bernie. I got a lot of respect for Bernie. I got a lot of respect for what he stands for. Bernie Sanders, if you don't know, he's the senator from Vermont. He calls himself a democratic socialist, or as we say in Amsterdam, just a normal guy, just totally normal. Bernie's the dude. So the episode 1, Greg and I talked quite a bit about wealth inequality. That was episode 1. For Bernie Sanders, that is episode 1, 2, and 3. The whole Bernie Sanders show is wealth inequality. My man brings it up all the time, and you ask him any question, he will definitely steer the answer back to wealth inequality.
Yeah, you can ask him like, oh, hey, Bernie, what do you like better, Coke or Pepsi?
Bernie will say like, what do I like? I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like the fact that 1% of America owns 99% of the wealth. It's unfair, it's un-American, and I won't stop fighting until we have a revolution or until I have another heart attack and die. And Pepsi, it's cheaper.
Right? But so, I mean, ever since Super Tuesday, it became rather clear. Super Tuesday, right, the 3rd of March, and the day before Super Tuesday, it was, the rest of the Democratic field that basically dropped out all of a sudden, right? It seemed so, like it was planned or something. Ooh, then came the conspiracy theories. Oh, yeah, said all the Bernie bros. It's like a conspiracy because they just planned this all along. And yet, I think technically a conspiracy is when it's hidden. It's not a conspiracy if they did it pretty much in public, out in the open.
All right, I kind of feel like if when you say like, hey, I support this person in the election and not that person, like that's not a conspiracy. That's kind of the definition of how an election works.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And now Bernie has endorsed Joe Biden, and a lot of people are like, no, we can't now. Oh, someone's making Bernie say those things. It can't be Bernie. But Bernie is also saying, hey, I support Joe Biden, but I'm keeping my delegates. I'm not technically dropping out of the race because Bernie wants to have some leverage in the Democratic convention. And that is totally respectable if you are part of the Democratic Party and you're invited to the Democratic convention, because it's just odd for the simple fact that Bernie is not a member of the Democratic Party. He just seemed to have forgotten that or something. He is an independent. Do people know this? He said if he was elected and he would be the nominee, then he would join the Democratic Party. But everybody's like, why are all the Democrats in the party so mad at Bernie? Because he wasn't invited to the party. Everybody's like, who invited this guy?
And Bernie's like, I invited myself. I love a party.
Okay, all right. Democrats are like, well, that's cool. Hey, we want a big tent, so as long as this guy doesn't try to take over the party.
And Bernie's like, I don't like the music. I don't like the snacks. And young lady, you cover yourself up. You look like a disgrace.
Meanwhile, like Tony Perez, Tom Perez at the Democratic Center, I mean, he's got to talk to now Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and be like, hey, AOC, I think your friend is acting like a bit of a dick.
And Bernie's like, you think this is a dick? I'll show you a dick.
And that's when Bill Clinton shows up and says like, oh, this guy can stay.
But Bernie finally dropped out. He dropped out, and he actually formally endorsed Joe Biden, just like Greg said. And people were asking about the timing. I know why Bernie dropped out at the beginning of last week. He dropped out because, like me, he's a Jewish person, and he probably wanted to be able to celebrate Passover in peace. He wanted to be able. No, hear me out. He wanted to be able to sit at the Seder and be like, I'll tell you why this night is different from all other nights. Because finally, 99% of the Egyptians get 100% of the plagues. It's fair. And my Jews out there, that one was for you, so donate.
Oh, man, and I know a lot of people are now feeling exhausted by this whole campaign already. And that's exactly how you should feel, because this is a typical American-style election. It's a marathon. It's nonstop, 24-hour, as many years as we can put into this as possible. Totally different from a Dutch election. Dutch elections, do people know this? I mean, it's like 6 weeks max. The billboards go up with all the different party posters, right? 6 weeks after that, everybody goes to vote. And another 6 months after that, you figure out who actually won and which parties are going to be in charge. It's just different. It's different.
I gotta say though, I think the best part about when you look at that poster up of all the slide of all the different posters, there's so many Dutch parties. It's so cool. I mean, there's a ton of parties. You guys got everything. You got the 10 normal parties that always fight to see who's in the coalition. You got the 10 also normal parties, but they never quite make it. And then you got like the crazy just for Dutch people parties. You know what I mean? You got the pirate party, the pedophile party, party for the animals. You guys love a good party.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's, that's 17 million people, 17 million different political parties. It's so great. You go to vote in America and you get two choices. This is your voting ballot. It's like floop, floop. That's it. That's the only choice you get. You go into a Dutch voting stemhokje with your ballot stem formulier, and that's like floop, 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 floop. You're not even halfway done opening the whole damn thing with every single candidate from every single party, and every time there are these brand new parties that have never existed before and may never exist again. I mean, there's a good example was the Unity Party. It was just two guys, and they were like, you know what? We're going to start the Unity Party. We'll start with us two, and then we'll just get bigger from there. And 2 years later, they no longer exist because those two guys couldn't agree on what is unity. That's the nature of Dutch politics. It's like the smaller the country, the more you like to disagree.
The thing though is that so you guys got like a zillion parties, and we've got our two main parties, and Dutch people have literally said to us, you must be so bored with American politics with only two parties. And I'm always like, well, but we have two parties, but those parties are kind of like your coalitions. It's just the coalitions made of smaller parties were built years ago, and they never fall apart. You guys do yours after the election. We did ours a long time ago. Like the Democrats. The Democratic Party is basically a coalition that's made of GroenLinks,
the Green Party,
the SP,
Socialist,
PvdA,
Labor Party,
and the TPV,
the TPV,
the tattooed, pierced vegans. And so that's the Democratic Party, and they just, the coalition never falls apart. Republican Party is also basically a coalition of smaller parties. Greg, you will not have to do any translating because these are some weird folks, and some of them do not have a Dutch translation. The Republican Party is basically made up of the Low Tax for Rich People Party, Big Oil, Big Business, the Gun Nuts, the Christians, the racists, and the secret racists. And we're from Chicago. We can make that joke. and so this is basically the Republican Party. And, Dutch folks, y'all, when you have your election, whoever gets the most votes, that party runs the coalition. That is not how it works with the Republican Party. No, the Republican Party has always been run by the Low Tax for Rich People Party with their party platform, low taxes for rich people. It is a very simple platform. It is basically, we'll keep all the money, and everyone else can eat a dick. It's like you know what it is? It's a slightly more mean-spirited Marie Antoinette, It's like, oh, let them eat dick, which I have to admit sounds better in the original French. So the thing about this party.
Oh, there it is.
You see, and it does look beautiful in French. So the thing is that the Democrats, it's a coalition, and they disagree, they fight, they argue. We see that during the primaries. But at the end of the day, they have more in common than they don't. The Socialists and the Green Party and Labor, they got a lot in common. Republicans, I mean, these guys are like a mixed bag of nuts. I don't know how it works. Like, it's not like you would walk into a bar and you'd be like, hey, you're rich, you're Christian? I hate black people. Let's hang out. That should not work. And I realized that over the years, the Low Tax for Rich People Party has figured out a trick to keep the coalition together. And that is, they have convinced all the other parties in the coalition that the key to solving their problems is also low taxes for rich people. Now, of course, this makes no sense whatsoever, but they sell it like it does. They're like, oh, you need more jobs? Low taxes for rich people. Oh, you want better health care? Low taxes for rich people. There's a global pandemic? Low taxes for rich people. Again, it's absolute bullshit. Yeah. They've been selling it for decades.
So for decades, like since the 80s, since I remember, we had Ronald Reagan, talking about trickle-down, remember, trickle-down economics. And trickle-down economics, if you don't know, it's a very simple two-step program. Step one is you send all the money up to the rich people. And step 2, there's no step 2. That's how simple it works. I mean, we're still waiting. It could still happen. Anything can happen. It's a faith-based initiative. It's faith. It's faith.
You just have to believe, Greg.
Yeah,
You just have to believe. Just for the record, trickle down did not start in the 80s with Reagan. It goes way back. It goes to the turn of the 19th century. In the 1890s, folks came out with this economic plan, which they called horse and sparrow economics. And I wish I made that up. I wish I made up the following, but it's 100% true. It's called horse and sparrow economics because the idea is there's not enough nutritious oats for all of the animals, so we give the oats to the horse, and the horse eats the oats and uses the nutrients and then leaves the nutritious residue behind, and then the sparrows can flock down and eat what's left and get nutrition that way. You see, horse and sparrow is a very nice way of saying, poor people, eat our shit. Which I have to admit sounds better in the original French.
So... And we're back in the year 2020 with November, not that far away. And the question is, do Democrats even understand what it takes to beat Donald Trump? And I would like to focus back to one candidate who is still promising to help out the Democrats, Mike Bloomberg. Mike Bloomberg, former mayor of New York and former debater, because he was so bad at debating, he will never try that again. So Mike Bloomberg is out of $500 million of his own money that he spent to influence his way into the election and quickly out. But Mike Bloomberg did make it an entertaining run along the way. He did what he promises to do into the general election, which was to spend all of his billions on billboards, specifically to piss off Donald Trump. He had wonderful billboards like Trump went broke running a casino. You know, a casino where the house always wins. The house managed to not win at a casino. And where did he put that billboard? In Las Vegas. I mean, Trump must have hated that.
That's not even my favorite of the Bloomberg billboards. My favorite was this one that said Donald Trump's wall fell over. Of course, this went up like a week after his wall literally fell over, and it actually fell over onto the Mexican side of the border. So not only did Mexico not pay for the wall, but they got to keep it. Then he had a sign that said Donald Trump eats burnt steak. I'm not sure if this is such a hit. I don't know if the populist cause in America is eating your steak rare, but whatever. We'll give him points for trying. And then he had a great one, which was Donald Trump cheats at golf. And you know that this one must have pissed off Trump, because if anybody knows if Trump cheats at golf, it's Bloomberg, because they play golf together.
Yeah,
so
right.
He had the inside scoop.
Oh, my God. I mean, Bloomberg, please don't leave us. This is when we need all of your focus, your energy, and mostly your money. Yeah. Even if you would pay Stormy Daniels, pick a day that you know Trump is going to need his utmost focus and all the snorting Adderall he can to get himself out of some big promise like not funding the World Health Organization. And that's when you pay Stormy Daniels to tweet 3 words, "It was small." Trump will lose his shit for 24 hours, an entire news cycle, I guarantee it. And the other great idea that we had for Mr. Bloomberg, if you're listening, Mayor Mike, okay, another idea. This comes from my friend from Evanston, Illinois, on Facebook. He says, Bloomberg, you could spend your money most effectively by finding out where Donald Trump has his outstanding loans, and you buy up his debt. You use just a fraction of your billions to buy up all of Donald Trump's debt, and then you just call it in. You know he doesn't have the cash to cover that. You call in the collateral. You leave him with nothing.
Oh, that's a great idea, right? You take it all. You take Mar-a-Lago, you take Trump Tower, you take all his money. The only money he'll left, the only thing he can afford to eat will be McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, and goddamn it, Trump wins again.
McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, those are my 2 favorite foods. I win again.
I'll tell you what, Greg, here's my idea for Bloomberg. And so, Mike Bloomberg, if you're listening, which, by the way, I assume you are not, but But if you're listening, or if a friend shares it to you, maybe Andrew will post it on Facebook. If you're watching, here's my idea. Trump has just made it so that his name is going to be on all the $1,200 checks going to Americans that need help because of the pandemic. And here's what you do. You say, look, I understand a lot of Americans are hurting. They need these $1,200 checks. But many people don't want Trump's name on the checks, right? Trump made it worse by denying the pandemic. Trump and his party dragged their heels on giving aid. So here's what I'll do. I, Mike Bloomberg, will buy your $1,200 check for $1,300, right? So you just go to the post office, send me your check signed to me. I'll send you $1,300 back. And the best part of the whole thing is both of us have to buy stamps. Boom, we also help the post office, so there's an election in November. It's a brilliant idea.
Oh, that is great. Oh, Pep, and I mean, let's say only 1 million people do that. That's 1 million times, that's $100 million. Wow, Mike Bloomberg, $100 million. That is a lot of money. Or is it a great investment? $100 million to make sure that Donald Trump is humiliated when you spent $500 million of your own money to make sure that you were humiliated. I think it's a great idea.
I'm hoping those are the sort of Bloomberg-funded stuff we can see as we head into the election proper. And big part of the election is the debate, and we're sure enough going to see debates between Biden and Trump. Probably debates where the participants have to take a break every 15 minutes and just sit down and schwitz and relax. Yeah. But I personally am disappointed. I was looking forward to debates between Trump and a different candidate. So what we'd like to do right now is stage a debate between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
So now's the time to get on the chat, and you can start sending in your ideas for questions that you could ask either Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump. And they could be questions for both candidates. They could be questions for Trump, like why do you wear your tie like that? They could be questions for Bernie, like why do you have suits that look like that? Whatever your question is, you can send it in, and then we'll be happy to answer them. So you start sending them in. Andrew is on the chat. He's fielding your questions. But first of all, I'd like to welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's okay. I'll wait for all the applause to be over. I know there's so much love for me in this room. And I it's so great that Sleepy Joe couldn't make it with us tonight. Instead, we've got Crazy Bernie, okay? And Crazy Bernie, I know he talks a lot about how we need more humanity in America and we need more empathy. We need more humanity, more empathy, and I would like to say I know humanity and empathy very well. They were my two favorite contestants for the Miss Universe pageant. Humanity was so beautiful, and empathy was so, when I was peeking at them in the dressing room, they were so much charisma, so beautiful. And my wife also. My wife, Melania, she would love to be here. Unless she is here, I can never tell. But, she's the best. Let's talk about Melania. Wasn't she great? She's the best first lady, or third lady, technically. But now I would like to take some questions, and first I will introduce my venerable debating partner, Mr. Bernie Sanders. Senator Bernie, Crazy Bernie, give it up.
Thank you.
You know you love him.
Thank
Crazy
you.
Bernie.
Thank you. I am crazy. Crazy about revolution. Also low-priced mattresses. I am Bernie Sanders, and if I'm a little late here, it's for two reasons. First of all, the rest of the Democratic establishment, they tried to grab me and throw me in tackles like it was a game of rugby, but Bernie broke the tackle, and here I am. Now, that's but here's the thing. The real reason I'm late, if I'm honest, it's because I had to take an Uber to get here, and when I say I had to take an Uber, I was driving the Uber. I need a little extra money. In fact, Donald Trump, I'll take that $1,200 check ASAP.
I don't know. Oh, maybe it doesn't have my name on it. Oh, too bad. You like socialism, don't you?
I do, so share the wealth.
It's so great.
If you're sending all this money, it sounds like you're a socialist too.
Bernie.
You get a check, you get a check, you get a check. You're like Oprah Winfrey.
You know what? It's like Oprah is running after all. It's great. Anyway, do we have any questions?
Do we have a question?
Yes, from Dutchman, 1987. What are you going to do with the Space Force when you become president, Mr. Sanders?
Mr. Sanders.
It's interesting. Here's the problem with that question for me is that, what am I going to do with the Space Force that he created? Now I understand. First of all, The thing I'd really like to do involving the Space Force is I like to force some information into the space between Donald Trump's ears. The very fact that he would take money and instead of spending it on schools or health care or decent housing or college education or a pastrami sandwich for everyone, the fact that he would spend this money on some crazy pie-in-the-sky Space Force, like we're going to be taking on Darth Vader and the stormtroopers and that rocket ship that went right in the eye of the moon. You didn't see that movie? I was in the theater for that movie. Anyway, the fact that he would do that is crazy. So the first thing I'd do is I'd take that apart, I'd sell the parts, and I would buy health care for every American, I would buy a pastrami sandwich for every American, and the rest I would put where it belongs, under my mattress.
This is where Bernie is so wrong. Space Force is a great investment, okay? And I know Bernie is there saying we don't need a Space Force. We've got a climate emergency. Oh, Green New Deal. We've got a climate. If you're talking to Bernie, Bernie would say Space Force is like someone saying your house is on fire. So instead of putting out the fire, I want to build a new garage. But I would say it's a great investment. And even for the Bernie supporters, we made the logo for Space Force look intentionally like the Star Trek logo for the Space Federation, the Starfleet Federation.
United Federation of Planets, come on.
You know Bernie loves it. Bernie loves Space Force.
I watch with the kids. Me and the kids, we get together, we watch Star Trek Picard, we smoke a bong, it's great. Why do you think I'm always talking about pastrami sandwiches? I got the munchies.
Okay, so that's why you can't vote for Bernie, obviously. Next question, go ahead.
Yes, in the scenario where you had to choose whether a train runs over 5 old people or 1 young person, what would you choose?
Well, Bernie, it sounds like, the young people who really showed up to vote for you. What do you feel? How do you feel about young voters right now?
Look, here's the thing. What you're talking about is, of course, the classic trolley question. It's a classic. It's a trolley question. And what we've just learned with the Republican Party wanting to sacrifice lives to bring back the economy is that when the question is, who should you hit with the trolley, 3 people over here or 1 people over here, the Republicans say, I don't care, just save the trolley.
I think that makes sense. I mean, finally,
no, I was
Bernie
making fun of you with that lie. That was an insult to you.
And so we have seen now that this student is the master. I have learned how to debate because you're just making my argument for me.
I was making it ironically to show how ridiculous a point that is.
Oh, that's so cute. The Democrats think Americans understand irony.
Why do you think I wear my hair so crazy? It's a parody of yours.
Okay,
what human being would wear their hair like this?
I think the trolley problem. I mean, the question was, you want to focus on the young people. I want to focus on the old people. I was saying that this whole pandemic, it's just a hoax. It's invented by the media, the lamestream media, the Democrat and China. And okay, I know I'm not supposed to call it the China virus, the Chinaman virus, much less offensive. And so it was and then I said we shouldn't do anything. We should reopen the economy. Let's not make the cure worse than the disease. And then what did I do? I turned around. I made a 180, okay? I made a wicked 180. That's for the kids. And Barron. All right. And so then I said
you named him Barron because we all wished that Melania had been Barron.
And I flip-flopped. I totally flip-flopped. And I turned around. I said, I'm not afraid to change my mind. I said, we need to take this whole virus seriously because someone explained to me that of all the people most likely to die from the virus, it's my voters, old white men in their 70s. So I would save the old voters and I would send the trolley over the 1 young voter because, let's face it, he probably said he was going to vote for Bernie and then didn't even vote. Thank you.
Look,
great question.
I just want to say one more thing about this whole pandemic because I'm the one that stood up in Congress and said this is not a hoax, this is a real pandemic, we have to take it seriously. I'm talking about the Spanish flu in 1918. I was there and I spoke up against it.
And he survived. Good for it. Next question.
Next
Do we have
question.
one more?
Who's this one from? I like to hear that funny handle.
Janneke Feest van den Hout.
Not a funny handle, Janneke. Try harder.
Backstreet Boys are in sync.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. Backstreet Boys, come on. I mean, Timberlake's good, but the rest of them, stay in space.
This is where Bernie and I disagree. I used to be part of a boy band, but do you hear about them anymore? No. That's because every boy band was meant to launch the career of one breakout solo artist. In Sync, you had Justin, JT, so great. Who's the breakout artist from the Backstreet Boys? They all dressed up like monsters, very scary.
This is exactly exemplifies the difference between us. You've got this weird capitalist idea that only one member of the boy band can survive and the others can die. No, Backstreet Boys survive as a society. It's a socialist, a democratic socialist boy band. Bernie's back, baby! Everybody! Oh, God, one second.
Take it easy, Bernie.
One
You're
second.
killing yourself.
I'm okay.
Time for one more question. Go ahead.
One more question. What will the truckers do when computers drive the cars?
I mean, 5G is what we need for all the self-driving cars. And I hear 5G causes coronavirus. I mean, it was said, someone was talking on Hannity, I think it was Fox or, Hannity, and they were talking about 5G. You look, okay, who's doing it? Huawei. You get Huawei from China, and you want to go to China. I have no problem with China. China all the time. China, so great. China, so huge, China. And then they want to take over our 5G, and that's why I would say, if you are sick of the coronavirus and you want to burn down these towers that are sending out it's like you should, maybe you should do it. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just retweeting someone else who said that you should do it. But 5G, it stands for 5 Gangnam Style. And that's China, South Korea. We can't trust these people.
There's so much wrong with that answer, starting with, it had nothing to do with truckers. I mean, you didn't even talk about the truckers. Break a 1-9, help the truckers. Now look, here's the problem. These computers are going to be driving the trucks, and I'm going to say this. I think we should talk about universal guaranteed salary for truckers. I think we should talk about retraining for truckers, because the fact is, right now, we don't have computers driving trucks. We have drivers looking at their phones and driving the trucks, and they end up dead. So I don't know if the computers are worse, because they're doing the beep bop and they're sending the tweets and the Twitters, and I don't know what it is.
We're going to have plenty of jobs for truckers. Don't worry. We're going to need so many jobs. Even when the trucks drive themselves, we're still going to need space truckers to take equipment to our Space Force and our many, many cadets that are fighting in space. It's going to be so great. I tell you this, I make this promise right now.
Oh, boy.
I am going to take so many trucks, and I am going to build a great, big, beautiful wall. It's a wall so big that you'll be able to see it from space. And you're going to, in fact, it will stack up so high that you will be able to reach space on my great big beautiful wall of trucks. I'm going to make a wall against the trucks made out of trucks, and Mexico is going to pay for the trucks.
Backstreet's back, baby!
Yeah! Yes, so again,
What was the movie where the trucks came to life? The trucks drove themselves?
Either you're talking about Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
That's the one.
Or you're talking about, Transformers.
No. I was talking about Maximum Overdrive, just for the record.
Let the record show. My brain went quicker to Maximum Overdrive with Emilio Estevez than it did to Transformers, the billion-dollar grossing blockbuster movies. Anyway, that's great. So, again, the question, how do we get out of this? How do we move forward? Looking forward to, November 2020. I think the sad thing is, too many people I'm talking to on the Democratic side, we're still traumatized by November 2016. We've got Hillary PTSD. Yeah. And how many people were there thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna get the first ever female president? Well, hey, look on the bright side. At least we got the first ever president who is clearly mentally ill, representing another valued demographic. So anyway, I remember election night, and I admit I did not stay up the whole night because I had to get up early the next morning. And so that was the moment, the reality check for me. I was turning on the TV, and it was the 6 a.m. edition of the Dutch News NOS Journaal, and there it was. I just had this feeling, and I couldn't even sleep. I woke up, and there it was, item number 1, Donald Trump elected President of the United States. But item number 2 of that morning's news is what really stuck with me. Remember anybody? It was church fire in Weesp. Small town, part of Amsterdam, right? And it's this little church, and they didn't know how the fire started. It started not in the church, but at the top of the tower. And like, was it a lightning strike? How do we put the fire out? Firefighters are on the scene, but their water can't even reach the fire. There's a cross with Jesus that's like in danger at the top. And when they went live to the scene, this is what happened. If you look at the cross on the top, they showed up just in time for the thing to cut loose and fall down. It's an amazing ball of flame that just like took out all these cars down below. And I was watching that half awake thinking, wow, I am not a religious man, but that is probably not a good sign. Like, if item number 1 on the news is like, yay, I've been elected president, and item 2 is Jesus Christ on a cross spontaneously bursts into flame and plummets 30 meters to the ground, probably not a good omen.
For me, my take on seeing that, Greg, is like evangelical Christians in America, they love Trump, right? They can't get Christian. Oh, boy, I can't get enough Trump. We love Trump. We love Trump. Christians love Trump. Christ, on the other hand, Jesus Christ heard the news, and he was like, I'm sorry, y'all elected who? Yeah, JC out.
Yeah, right. And so Dutch people love to laugh at us Americans because only in America could you vote for someone who's so crazy with the crazy hair and the crazy big mouth. He thinks the rules don't apply to him, wants to kick out everybody who doesn't belong like him. No, never in the Netherlands could we vote for someone like that regularly. Or this other guy from the Forum for Democratie who makes up words like oikophobia and boreal because you're worth it. No, never in the Netherlands.
I got to say more than that, Greg. Like, Dutch folks, I get it. You laugh at us for Donald Trump. We deserve it. Sure, Geert Wilders was doing it long before Trump was. But, I mean, I get it. But I hope when you're laughing at Trump and you look at yourself in the mirror, you realize what I think we all know to be true. You guys are the ones that created Donald Trump and not us. It's your fault, not ours. Now, that's obviously true. And I think if you look in your heart, you'll realize you are responsible for Trump. Now, here's why. First of all, Donald Trump made his money with a bunch of crooked real estate deals in Manhattan, just like Dutch people. Donald Trump became a household name because of reality television, which was invented by Dutch people. Thanks for nothing. And of course, Donald Trump, kind of gets people on his side, certain people, by stirring up that American racism, which really hit its peak when white people were buying black people from Dutch people. So, Dutch folks, this one's on you all. And the proof is, why do you think Donald Trump pays tribute to his maker by painting his face orange every day?
Yeah, that's Donald Trump. He's like, every day is like King's Day. Every day's King's Day when you're like me, the king of orange. Oh, yes. Yeah, I love it. Totally love it. So, I mean, now, look, we are hitting close to the 1 hour mark, but there's one thing that we would like to do for you still, and answer who are these people who are still supporting Trump that we get asked a lot. So we would like to answer that with improvisation.
That is right. We're going to improvise for you, and to do that, let's get back to the chat. Andrew's going to take the chat as it comes in. There's a couple of different categories, so let me just walk you through them. I'll tell them all to you at once. You just send them to Andrew as they come to you.
Yeah.
But we want you to write down stuff that's in the news, but not the political stuff, not the election stuff, because we kind of talk about that a lot.
Yep.
But like the other stuff,
You could say, oh, there were tornadoes in the United States. You could say, oh, Prince Harry doesn't get to go hunting anymore because of Meghan doesn't like sports.
Is that true?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Don't take that, Harry.
Yeah.
So news stuff like that. Also stuff that bothers you a little bit, like the stuff that bothers you a little. So not the big stuff like world hunger, but the little stuff like I'm hungry right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the final category I would say is like your favorite quotes from movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
So it could be like...
you could say something like, I drink and I know things, or I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
So
like get all that stuff coming in right now. Do we have any yet, Andrew?
Yes, we do.
All right.
I'm going to start writing them down then.
You're ready? Joe Exotic, ripped from today's headlines.
Ripped from today's headlines.
More home births.
I got
births.
that. More home births.
Yes.
Is that true? Had you
Of
heard
course.
that?
The
Yes.
doulas have never been more important. Okay.
When people walk on the wrong side of the sidewalk.
You got that?
Yep.
All right.
The absence of soccer. No soccer.
Okay.
Troubles with Corona beer.
Wait a minute.
I got no soccer.
I'm gonna say Corona beer was.
What else?
Cardi B is freaking out. The only thing she can eat is cereal in her
got it.
mansion on lockdown. Cardi B eating
You're
cereal.
clearly reading Cardi B.
No, I'm writing Corona
Oh,
beer.
all right.
was.
I got it.
What else you got for me, Andrew?
Sex toys. Big sellers.
Sex toys.
Big
Did you
sellers.
remember that movie Sex Toys and Videotapes?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
What else? More?
Real life Pac-Man when doing shopping at the grocery store.
okay.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. I'm gonna write real life Pac-Man.
Oh,
Real
you got
life
that?
Pac-Man.
Okay. What else? We got someone.
How about a couple of quotes here? I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Got it.
We want to order popcorn, but it's not possible.
We want to order popcorn. What the hell?
I'm not sure, but you can ask Shoni about that one.
I was gonna say one thing you know for sure is if it says "but it's not possible," it's from a Dutch person.
All right. What else?
Hey, Andrew.
Toilet paper and as well, something interesting.
Got it.
You got
Thank you.
toilet paper? Hey, Andrew, I know that for our next category, what we want to do is, I believe we've got someone on a Zoom call, correct?
Absolutely, we're very happy, and Nicole supported us with the I Want to Be in the Show ticket, so we'd like to bring her up on Zoom and interview her as well for this next scene.
All right, Nicole on Zoom. I will speak slowly.
I'm going to give you,
There's Nicole.
okay, there's Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, Nicole.
Good. How are you?
Super well. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for paying to be with us.
She's an American, but she
Always.
lives in the Netherlands. That's all I know about her.
I feel like a well-dressed prostitute.
That's you or her?
Well, me. She paid.
Oh, she paid you.
Yeah.
Got it.
So Nicole, where are you right now?
I'm in Almere, Hava.
I'm super duper sorry to hear that. There are uglier places in the world, but I can't think of them now. I'm going to write Almira.
Got it. Okay.
It's quite beautiful. Have you ever even been?
I have, and don't lie to me, Nicole. Nicole, what's your? First of all, are you wearing pants?
I am. Yeah.
She said
Do I need
surprised.
to show?
No. I mean, if you want, if they're cool. No, Nicole, what's your
No.
what's your job? What and can you do it at home?
Yeah. I'm an analyst in finance.
So what kind of financial stuff do you analyze besides the bottom dropping out of the stock market?
Just all kinds of things. P&L stuff, OPEX, revenues.
Little P's, little L's, some
mixing.
revs. P&L just
Yeah.
profits and losses?
All that lingo.
All that lingo, all the jargon. Did you jot that down?
I
Greg?
did. And you got books behind you.
But I do have books behind me. Yeah.
What's your favorite of those books?
I read.
Sorry?
Well, it's actually not up here. It's downstairs. But *Sapiens* is one that I just read recently. that I really
Sapiens.
like.
And what's Sapiens about?
It's a brief history of humankind.
A brief history of humankind. It sounds pretty heavy.
It's really interesting. You should
Pretty
try
heavy
it.
stuff, Nicole. Greg, do you have any other questions for Nicole?
No, *Sapiens* supposed to be a good read. Anyway, yeah, no, thank you.
Where does she work?
Oh, yeah, what's the name of the company you work? Good question.
I work at Sonos
At Sonos.
Speakers,
So you do
the
financial...
sound experience company.
the sound experience company. So it's like cool, like surround sound and mood sound and vibrate sound and all the cool sound
Yeah.
stuff. That's good.
All the sound
When
stuff.
you go to
yeah.
the Dolby Cinema, are you disappointed by the sound, or are you like, actually, this is pretty good sound?
I mean,
Did you write Sonos?
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Nicole, I think we've got plenty of information from you, but before you go, I just want to thank you very much because I know you paid a little bit extra, and I don't want to awkwardly try to add up just how much you paid per minute to be on screen or anything like that. Who wins that kind of an analysis? But I hope the payment, the reward is the warm feeling you have for supporting us, because I do want to honestly say we really do appreciate it. So thanks a lot. Yeah,
Well done, Nicole.
Yeah, give her a round of applause.
Anytime, guys.
Anytime. Well, we're doing a show Saturday as well. Anyway, Andrew, one last thing before we start.
Yes. I have a question. Quote, where is the flour? Is everyone baking?
Okay.
That might be a quote from real life and not a movie.
That sounds good. Now, what we'd like to do is answer the question about so many people who are really excited to vote in 2020, and most of them are angry white men. So we'd like to show you a couple of angry white men right now, and we're going to do that by taking you to the state of, let's say...
Before we do, shall we...
Yeah. Oh, let's review. Sorry, we're going to review all of your suggestions. Here's how it's going to work, right? We're going to improvise a two-person scene, and from time to time, we're going to have to reach down and pick up one of these little pages at random, and then say it immediately, and then make it make sense, which for Pep will not be easy because he is going to have to talk about no soccer anymore, about Cardi B's freaking out, I can't believe I ate the whole thing, toilet paper, more home births, Americans in the Netherlands, financial analysts who deal with P's and L's, and Sonos. All right, at random.
And Greg, you're also not going to have it too easy because I've written down for you Joe Exotic, wrong side sidewalk walkers, Corona beer woes, sex toys, real life Pac-Man in grocery stores. We want to order popcorn, but it's not possible. The beautiful, you're close, my friend.
I'm behind here.
The beautiful city of Almira. Sapiens, a brief history of, and then I didn't finish writing it. Sorry, Nicole. Doesn't matter. I'm never going to read it. And of course, where is the flour? Is everyone baking?
All right. So here I come and here I go. Great. Yeah, we talked about angry white men, and we'd like to show you some of them now in a bar in, let's say, North Carolina, famous for drinking whiskey and shooting guns after you've had too much whiskey. We take you now to North Carolina. Woohoo! Hey, JD.
Hey there, Turner. How are y'all?
Yeah, good. Hey, don't get comfortable here. I got to close up early. Got to get to my second job.
Hang on. Your second job. I thought you were so lucky to still have that first job after they shut down the air conditioning plant.
I know. They shut down every damn thing. I mean, I had 2 jobs already, and now this is my third. I mean, I'm going to lose this one because, look, I had $22.50 an hour plus benefits and adios. They sent all of that plus my health care out the window to Mexico.
You see, that's why I say that all Mexicans are filthy and lazy.
Hey, man, you married a Mexican.
Yeah, and my house is a mess.
Oh, well, then you can talk.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll give you one for the road, but, man, you got to help me clean up.
All right, just slide it down here. Thank you. I'll tell you what, I'm in no hurry to get home. It turns out that I think there's a meth lab on my block now.
No.
Yeah.
You mean the
old Phillips house. Yeah. I walked by there the other day. All the windows are all boarded up. You got that terrible smell coming in.
No.
And that's where I got to go down to buy my meth.
Oh, really?
Yep.
On your own? Oh, you better watch out, my friend.
It's pretty tempting.
Just stay off the OxyContin, you know?
I can't even afford the OxyContin. You just stay back on your side of the bar.
I will, but can you help me?
Stay on your side of the bar.
You help me cash out.
You're creeping me out there, buddy.
All right.
So, what do you think about this no soccer situation?
Man, no soccer, no problem. I mean, you talk about football and baseball, now we got a problem.
I'd even be willing to take hockey, and we all know that's got some stinking Canadian roots.
Yeah.
But I'd say, here's my problem with soccer. Why not use your hands? The good Lord gave you hands. Not using them is like spit in the Lord's face with your feet.
I wish, I don't know about your feet, but I mean, if they're anything like your house, it must be pretty dirty.
Well, I'll tell you what, wherever the spit comes from, there's a droplet, so watch out what you do to God.
I mean, where is the flour? Is everyone baking? I don't know. There's no flour on my shelf at the supermarket.
My wife Maria has stocked up on flour.
God damn, so you're the one.
Yeah, we got flour tortillas. It's flour tortillas and chocolate cake. That's all Maria knows how to cook, but goddamn, it's delicious.
Oh, man.
That's our quarantine food.
Okay.
That's our quarantine food.
Well, at least you're baking with it. I just have a feeling that somebody's stockpiling all this flour.
I also got all the toilet paper.
Is that you again?
Yeah, I got it all.
You doomsday prepper.
Look, I got no job in doomsday prepping for decades. I know that Obama with his black helicopters were going to take our guns, take our Bibles, and then take our lives, so I stocked up on flour and toilet paper like a God-fearing American.
Yeah, and speaking of God-fearing, we're supposed to not even say black helicopters in the same sentence as the first black president because that makes us racist, I guess.
Well, then I'm watching out for the African-American helicopters.
Oh, me first. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humanity.
You remembered what that last word was, did you?
Or humankind. I remember when we called it mankind, and everybody knew it meant humankind, but now we got to add a syllable to accommodate the extra gender.
I think that's why they just called the book Sapiens, because it's like, well, we're talking about heterosapiens or homo sapiens. Well, we don't want to say homo because somehow that's homophobic, so we better just say sapiens. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, taking the homo off is homophobic.
What?
I'm calling that book
What?
Homo sapiens.
They call it homo. Yeah, I'm calling it homo sapiens too.
Goddamn right. Meanwhile, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. That's why I can't read the book. I ate it. I got sick of the tortillas and chocolate cake. All I had was the book.
That's
By
fine.
the way, Nicole, delicious book.
I don't have any toilet paper, so I've been wiping myself with the books in my house as well.
What books do you have in your house?
I mean, none anymore.
Don't you wipe your ass with the Bible?
No.
That is expressly forbidden, ironically, in the Bible. Thou shalt not wipe thy cheeks with thy Bible.
I always turn the other cheek. I turn the other cheek.
You turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think of Sonos?
Sonos?
Yeah.
I think he was bad for erasing all those Avengers with the snap.
My problem with Sonos is the way he used his Jewish bank money to fund all them Democrats.
Oh, and if you say that, they call you anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's just because I don't like Jewish people.
You just don't like one Jewish person, and I guess that
Suddenly,
makes it.
I'm anti-Semitic.
We want to order popcorn, but it's not possible.
Go on, tell me more.
I know. I want to get some popcorn for the bar, but can I order popcorn? No. They say it's delivered from China, and they're not making deliveries
Also,
right
you
now.
can't have the popcorn on the bar. That's finger food. I'm going to touch it with my fingers. You touch it with your fingers. Corona popcorn.
Yeah, no, we don't. I got Corona on the menu, but I don't want it on the bar. Do you know what I mean?
You don't want corn rova.
I don't want corn rows either.
So what do you think about an American who lives in the Netherlands?
What?
You wrote it, fucker. Don't look like you don't know what I'm saying.
Why would you want to live in any other country like that? I mean, don't they know the Netherlands is second?
You know what it is? I'll bet it's one of them Democrats that was like, well, you know what? If Trump wins, I'm going to move to Canada. But Canada was full of them tear-crying liberals that got owned, so she had to move all the way to the Netherlands.
Yeah, you got so much Trump derangement syndrome, you just got to move over to like liberal, whatever, Little Mermaid land.
Little Mermaid land.
Yeah.
That's what they call the Netherlands, Little Mermaid land.
Wrong side of the sidewalk, walkers. That's what they got over there.
Yeah, that's all they do.
Yeah.
That's all they do. You know why? Because they're high all the time from their marijuana and prostitutes.
Yeah.
They don't know which side of the sidewalk to walk on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That is terribly bad.
Yeah.
And they're also probably all holding out a copy of Homo sapiens and trying to read it while they walk.
A story of humanity. I'm going to cross out the who right now. And that's what I did with my neighbor. I crossed off the who because he was from the WHO.
You crossed him
I
off.
just said, I'm not funding him anymore.
Deep cut.
I cut him off.
Hey, what do you think about this? More home births. I feel like there's too many home births.
Yeah.
I feel like you're supposed to give, when you have a baby, the good Lord says, go to the doctor and have your baby. That's in the Bible too.
Well, good luck getting into a hospital these days. I mean, you know what? And Trump kept talking about all these ventilators that we're supposed to have, and we're supposed to have testing. And now I think I might have the virus, but I can't even get tested because they say don't come into the hospital. And Trump is supposed to be sending us these relief checks, and he doesn't even send us the relief checks on time. No, we have to delay the whole process so I can put my name on the check that might only get to me by the month of November when it doesn't help me anymore. Trump is making my life a living hell.
Me too. You gonna vote for him still?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much.
Pep Rosenfeld.
Greg Shapiro. Folks, thank you so much. This has been episode 2, and Saturday night you can see episode 3 Springtime for Racism and Fox News.
Yes, yes. Also, don't forget, Matt and Stacy will be next Tuesday, Thursday.
Matt and Stacy, don't you mean Going Steady?
Going Steady with Matt and Stacy, and thank you guys for coming tonight.
This show that you have just watched will be online, so if you're like, oh, I totally wanted to share it, even though you've told me a million times, but I didn't, you can still share it, and people can still watch it online. It is not too late to donate or buy ex post facto tickets. If that's a thing, it's possible, right?
It's a thing.
And it's possible.
Yes. Go to boomchicago.nl and please do buy a ticket. Share the link and make sure other people buy a ticket. Also, we can chat with you. We'll do that next. But if you have to close the chat because it's like on your phone and look for the donate button, it is in the info section on this very video.
And while you're there, why not buy tickets to Going Steady starting next Tuesday? That is Tom.
Tom Clutterbuck! Thank you. Thank you to We Are Live. Thank you.
And, of course, we will see you all backstage. Thanks again.
Woo!
I do like to say ding dong. That's what I say when something feels like it was done pretty good, pretty well.
Yes, we ran long.
But what time is it?
It's all good. It's about 15, but it's okay.
Oh, that's extra. That's extra money's worth.
Yes, indeed.
Extra
what else
money's
we
worth.
got here. Let's see. I'm going to check into the chat and see if. That's.
Hey, I've got to say, so while you're looking into the chat, the fact that Stephen King made a script about trucks that drive themselves, and he also made Christine, the car that drove by itself. Stephen King's got a bit of a weird thing for vehicles that drive themselves, wouldn't you say?
And Lawnmower Man was another one. Yeah.
That wasn't a lawnmower one. That was a dude that like became.
Okay.
He became like some kind of computer extra dude. Like it was a sort of early AI movie with crappy computer animation.
Fair enough, but you know what? And I've seen more crappy '80s movies based on Stephen King novels than I have Transformer movies. So does that make me anyway? Transformer movies, which were based on crappy '80s animation. So
I'm not sure that makes you anything but a discerning fan of Stephen King's mediocrity.
Okay. Anyway, it was about half man, half lawnmower, says Dan Oster. Thank you.
Wait, but is that true? I thought, didn't he but there's some kind of AI computery part too, right?
Ooh, maybe that was a different one. Was that Free Jack?
No, Free Jack. Free Jack was different. I want your body. Mick Jagger's in the movie.
Yeah.
I remember Free Jack.
And for some reason, they had like James Brown every time. They had James Brown going, "Ow!" every time someone was screaming. There was an odd soundtrack choice. Anyway,
Dan Oster, thanks for being here again.
Stay safe as well. Applause. Great show, guys. That's okay. And what else? You'll be back Saturday, says Mark Levin. That's great. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks, Mark.
And okay, brilliant again. And Yannick FS says, the Transformers from the original '80s. We have fans of those guys as well.
Hey, we heard after the fact that there was like a troll in the chat on Tuesday, and I'm wondering if there was a troll in the chat tonight. Was there a troll in the chat tonight? We're supposed to answer questions, but I feel like we can ask one too.
Did we have to block anybody?
Yeah, did we have to block anybody?
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we make our politics pretty obvious, but I would say that in doing YouTube videos and like touring the Netherlands, I get into conversations with people who generally start off by saying, okay, this is going to sound weird, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Democrats, or, I don't think Trump is all that bad, hear me out. And I generally try to hear them out because it's just like a Louis Theroux documentary in real life.
You talk to these folks. I'm going to grab my tablet so I can look too.
Okay, Pep is grabbing his tablet, and boy, I would like a tablet as well. Even just a used one would be fine. But anyway, by the way, let's see. I'm going to be coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be on this Corona Keukenkast. If you want to tune into
Corona
that.
Keuken?
It's
cooking with Corona?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll see what that really means. But I'll be promoting the show on Saturday. So if you want to tune into to that, it's not Bayonaire, but it's the new Bayonaire affiliate thing. It's called.
Are you selling
Shape Networks?
Are you selling stuff that's not our Saturday show?
Yeah, I'm selling the promo for the Saturday show.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I can live with that.
All right. All right. It's odd when I get a comment like, I remember when you were born. Anyway, it's nice to...
Oh, that's me.
Put it on mute,
It's
Pep.
me. It's me.
Anyway, thank you. It's nice to see you here. Anyway, all right. Sapiens is a great book. Lily Brown, what is your one-sentence summary or review? But anyway.
Hey, so somebody wrote, I can't believe they haven't heard of Sapiens. You had heard of Sapiens, correct?
Yeah. It's Yuval someone. But yeah, it was kind of on my...
I mean, I knew that there was a book
list.
called Sapiens, and that's about it, and I don't think I get credit for having heard of it because I can say that sentence.
Are any two comedians in the U.S. doing a show about Wilders and Baudet? No. We're the only two, I think. So, yeah. Mr. C4, good to see you as well.
Dan Oster has finally solved the whole Lawnmower Man thing, which was the tech that they were dealing with then was VR. And so thanks for sorting that for us.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Okay, so there are people watching the show where it's 3:15 in the afternoon, and already they're half drunk because, hey, you took our advice. So, hey, happy working from home. You should be half drunk.
Somebody asks, how do you get the Bernie haircut? And the answer is be on lockdown and not be allowed to get a haircut for over a month. And that's how it works.
Right, yeah.
It's really simple.
Okay. And what else do we need to know? Please do tune in on Saturday if you can. If you can't, then feel free to share the link. We'll be working with our Dream Stream team, our Stream Dream team. We are live to make some more promos from this show. And yeah, you can share those as they pass by tomorrow on social media as well.
Janneke Fest Vondenhout writes that Boom Chicago was the first date for her and her now husband.
All
And she
right.
hopes to come back soon for their 10-year anniversary. Wow, congratulations. I'm very curious about so many things, but really, did you guys hook up after the show? Was it a first date hookup? It's really none of my business, and yet here we are. So
I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever.
how is there still technology at Boom with Brian gone? Is he really gone? I like to think the spirit of Brian is here forever.
Yeah, Brian Junge, he was here. He was watching anyway. That's great to have you. And, okay.
You guys are my only bit of social interaction. Can't live without. A, thank you. B, solve that problem for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to solve that problem.
Yeah, that would be, and you know, maybe we should do a live chat, you know, like my weekly Monday live chat. You could join in, or we should do more.
I'd be super down for that.
Yeah.
I'd be super down for that.
Okay.
Will you guys have more shows online? I like the Boom Chicago nights. Asks Kati Bustos. Oh, hey, Beth. Cousin Beth from LA. Thank you for joining us. To Kati, so we're definitely going to have another show Saturday, and then next week, I don't know if we mentioned it. I think we did. Stacy and Matt are doing their all improvised show, Going Steady, and they're engaged, so they can get close and touch. They won't have a tape measure. I mean, it won't be gross, but so those are going to be super fun shows, and that's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of next week, and then after that, who knows? And by who knows, I mean, yes, I think we probably will if folks keep watching these.
That would be good. And, so which party did Trump attend with the golden prop behind you? Well, the golden prop is, I'm not sure which one you mean. But anyway, yeah, Trump must have attended that one. Maybe you mean this one, and yeah, that could be indeed the...
It does look like a weird fertility staff.
Yeah, really? Or literally fertility, because Trump would use it to... Yeah.
I mean fertility.
Yeah, this is echt een eikel there. Anyway. But so what else? Oh, yeah. So Janneke points out that she had the first date, which was meeting on the internet, and then we met on the internet, and this was my birthday present to him. Sorry, but that was the first date? Maybe. Anyway.
It's the scarf. The scarf. I don't know which scarf it is, but that's the gold prop they were talking about. Hey, somebody writes, this would be an excellent time for some 6 beers of politics videos.
What?
That's a great idea.
Deep cut, Ben Hood.
That's a great idea.
I agree.
And we could do them live. Now, they wouldn't be edited, which actually would be much worse, so I didn't say that.
Okay.
But 6 beers of politics would be, we would get together, and our rule was we would drink 6 beers and talk about politics, and then when the 6 beers were drunk, we would stop talking about politics, which is what we recommend for everyone.
Yeah.
But those were edited pretty well. That was, I'm not sure if you'd want to see the rough cut.
This is some good stuff coming in. And anyway, but yeah, the scarf. We'll get the scarf next. And 6 beers. That's great. Well, Yeah, you can hopefully come to Boom Chicago soon enough when the theater opens, which will hopefully be in June, with a new live show called Sitcom, and they're working on it now.
Hey, Greg, and maybe this can be a last question, or not, depending. I can stay here a bit more, but somebody asks, I love the show. Do you find it more or less challenging to lampoon a politician like Donald Trump, who essentially lampoons himself every time he speaks? And I've heard a lot of comedians saying that they find it difficult/annoying to try and heighten someone that is already so heightening. Like, he's so crazy, how do you get crazier? You do Trump. What do you find that to be the case? Because I
just read the words. I mean, sometimes it's just that simple. I write down the words he says and then repeat them in an accurate Trump voice.
And Tina Fey as Sarah Palin style.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's truth in comedy. So he writes all the best stuff. I'm gonna miss him when he's gone.
I personally find that I like to try and make fun of the awful things, because it's like the old drama, the Greek tragedy versus the comedy masks, and I think you either laugh about it or you cry about it. Sometimes both, if I'm honest.
All right. Well, then that was the last question. That sounds all right. And thank you guys for all the chat. You can leave comments if the chat is closed, and we'll try to get back to those as well. Please share the link, comment on the link, and like the video if you can. That will help the algorithm find us.
And again,
Sexy.
tell other folks about us too. We would love that. And we'll hopefully see you guys on Saturday. And when I say we'll see you, I mean we'll actually see one of you for 50 euros.
Doei!
Doei!